Materialistic women that are not afraid to be vain and unreliable will always win. And is this an excuse for me to show off the bags that I'm wearing this summer? Yes, it is, but it's also a glorious video that you're gonna dive into right now, because I'm so vain that I'm actually gonna praise myself. Oh my God. First and foremost, look at yourself and say, thank you so much for being so beautiful. Thank you so much for making me so beautiful. Thank you. And let's get into it. The reason why materialistic, vain, and women that are not afraid to be irresponsible always win is because society is based on morality, or at least that's what patriarchal society makes women conform to, so that they have easier ways of controlling them. So it's easier to make sure that every woman is alike, and to make sure that women crave men's validation, because if women, God forbid, switched up and found out that doing their thing, going out and being absolutely the baddies that they deserve to be, they would find out that they don't actually need men for what they think that they need men for, which is unconditional love. Believe it or not, I can actually get a lot of love from just having my lafufu right here. I have not named him yet. Make sure to name him in the comment section below. He might have only been $10 on Canal Street, but you know what? Me having the power to be able to go out and buy that, accessorize my Juicy Couture bag with it, $30 at Marshall's, by the way. Absolutely stunning. Probably not gonna last that long because it's plastic, but life in plastic is fantastic. The reason why men do not like the fact that a woman is vain, she's into her looks, she likes material things like Louis Vuitton purses or Labubus, and oh my God, the Labubus are taking over the internet, is because they do not like the fact that women indulge in things that are beauty, that are art, and women indulge in things that are beauty. I consider this beauty. A mother will recognize beauty even in the things that do not come off as beautiful. But, and you know I'm mother. Anyways, men will have a tendency to try to make women believe that beauty doesn't matter in order for them to control women, so that they feel like these women will get more validation for them. The only reason that they tell women that beauty doesn't matter and that it's all about love and we should all be realistic and not think too much about all of the things that are materialistic, and they don't want a woman who's too into her looks and whatever, is because first and foremost, they probably don't have any money to keep up with that. And if they had the money, they would be happy to spend it on a woman, because that's something that breaks and makes a man's ego literally soar through the roof. So the only reason he tells that to women is because he cannot afford a woman who's actually expensive or actually has a specific type of taste. And he wants that woman, but he does not want to be paid for having that woman keeping up with her energy. So he tells women, or men tell women, that being materialistic, wanting shoes, wanting bags, wanting surgeries, whatever it is a woman may want, it's bad. You should be more realistic and you should love yourself for who you are. You can love yourself for who you are and love yourself so much that you actually choose to do whatever it is you want, because you understand that you have free will. You can go out and get a nose job if you want. You can go out and get a facelift if you want. You can go out, fry your hair. You can go out, you can literally bust your hair off if that's the thing you want to do. That's where, you know, and the funny thing is, I was going to say about that is that as soon as a woman goes out and is like, oh yeah, beauty doesn't matter, I'm going to go out and I'm going to shave my head, then they're like, oh, she ruined herself. You told on yourself, man, because to you, looks actually do matter, and men actually do care whether their lady looks well put together, whether she has the time and the space to be able to tune into her femininity. And femininity is actually heavily correlated with materialism, because believe it or not, we are gatherers. And having a little something fun once in a while is not a sin. It is something we've been told that we need to stay away from, especially in today's world where we're always told that, oh, if you eat an avocado toast, you're at fault for literally wrecking your own economy, and like that's why you can't afford a house. No, you have to be able to keep going. And a lot of the times, that's why men tell women that they shouldn't be doing all this, because they know as soon as a woman takes her energy out of herself, and she starts putting into the man, because he says, you don't need to put all that makeup on, you need to do all of that with yourself, you're beautiful as you are. Then he's like, gotcha. And then she's gonna feel completely drained. She doesn't know why. You've probably seen some of the videos with the women that are like, they date a man, and then like, it's almost like the bad energy like manifests in their body, and they're like, why did I look like that when I was with that man? Because he's probably toxic. Like, they clock that with themselves. Because a man will tell you that you shouldn't be putting all of your energy into yourself, so that he can actually have access to more of that energy, because men understand that if you are not putting your energy into yourself, you're gonna have a gap. You're gonna have a gap that a man is gonna fill, because, oh, if you can't put energy into creating art, creating beauty, making yourself beautiful, taking care of yourself, making everything around you beautiful, then you're gonna have to try to find energy somewhere, or you're gonna have to try to put your energy somewhere else, because women are not made to feel comfortable with the energy that they have within themselves. They're not. Women in today's society, or in society in general, because of patriarchy, they are trained to believe that as soon as they hold energy, they need to give it away. Which is why we have such a hard time growing our energy as women in society, because we feel like as soon as we have some energy, as soon as we're sitting with some energy, this usually happens when you start being more alone, if you're not around other people that have victim mentalities, or if you start taking a step back from like people that are negative all the time, or you break up your boyfriend, suddenly you're sitting with all of your energy. And some women that are very people pleasing, the first thing they're going to go out and do is that they're going to try to find a man, because they do not want to sit with that energy. They don't want to sit with that energy within themselves, because they feel like it is vain, it is immoral, it is like, oh, it's vanity. You're literally greedy for holding your own energy, because men actually want to leash on that energy. That's why they say it's greedy, while in reality, it's actually just going to build you up, so that no man who is that low will have access to you. Men know this. That's why they want to bring you down. It's actually... think about it like this. This is you, and I know you're more beautiful than this, but this is an example. This is you, and this is a mountain you're climbing, right? This is at the foot of the mountain. All of the haters are down here. All of the men that want to have access to you, but don't like the fact that you're gaining more power, they're down here. And now you're gonna like go up the mountain. This is a beautiful mountain, by the way. This is the top of the mountain, by the way, and this is like you're making your way up. As soon as you get up here, like you could still hear the shouts from people down here, like, oh my God, you shouldn't be doing all that. Are you sure you want to do that? Like, oh my God, are you sure you want to do that? Girl, like you shouldn't be doing that. You're doing too much, you're doing too much. But as you climb further and further up, first and foremost, you're gonna be like, oh, you can hear them way less. They're also going to be shouting louder, because they still feel like they have a way to get to you. But as soon as you get to a certain point, you can't hear them anymore. Like the sound is going to be so muffled, you can't hear them anymore. That's the scary part. Because we as women have been so conditioned by patriarchy to always have that little whisper of patriarchy, of morality, of like, we shouldn't be materialistic, we shouldn't be vain, we shouldn't focus on ourselves, we should be selfless, people pleasing. When we get to the point where we can't hear them no more, we're actually usually gonna end up going down, because we want to hear those voices again. We want to be like, oh my God, but what if they truly are in danger? Or what if I need to come down, and like, they might be shouting like, oh my God, you shouldn't leave us behind. But you're not leaving them behind. They're not willing to actually climb up the mountain. The only way they would be willing to climb up the mountain themselves is if they could leech onto you. So you climb slower, and then you will probably be dragged right down to the pits of hell again, right? So when you start climbing and suddenly you can't hear them no more, you're sitting up here, it's like halfway point to the top of the mountain. It's like, okay, you can't hear them more. This is when you have to keep on going. When you feel that men are not giving you attention anymore, that is when you have to keep on going, because you're going to get to the point where you're going to be like freed. Because we have to understand this, girlies. Ugh, this plant is like really heavy, and there's dirt, like, oh my God, everything fell. When you get to the top of your mountain, first and foremost, you're going to be more enlightened, but you cannot get there if you are going to give in to everyone who's telling you, oh my God, are you sure you want to do that? Or beauty doesn't matter. Every time you go to a man and say, well, beauty does matter, or you try to argue with him, he's going to steal your energy because he wants to steal your energy. He wants to have access to your energy so that you do not build it, so that he has more access to you, because he knows the power of pretty privilege. He knows the power of feminine energy. And he does not want you to realize it. He does not want you to be so enlightened that you actually know how to set boundaries. So he's going to keep you going down the mountain so that you get so tired that you're not going to be willing to climb up the mountain again. You're going to grow resentful. The reason why materialistic, vain, and irresponsible, unreliable women always win is because they are not afraid of stepping into the energy that men are always telling women that they should stay away from. So actually, these women create a very, very clear armor that first and foremost exposes men's own vanity, own willingness or wish to possess a woman, to think that she is a material item that he can possess. That will be exposed as soon as a woman is actually honest about the fact that she is materialistic. When you are a woman who has your nails done, you know, I have someone like, this is not cheap. Having as many tattoos as I do, that's not cheap. When I walk around, it is very clear that it took some money for me to be able to walk around and look the way that I do. It is not something that I'm not an effortless person. As soon as you are a woman and you step into not being effortless, you will first and foremost expose all of the men that are just trying to leech off of your pretty privilege without providing anything for you. And you're also going to create an armor, because a lot of men are actually going to be scared of you because they know that they cannot provide the things that you deserve, and they're not going to try. Some men aren't going to try. That's why you need to have boundaries. And sometimes, girl, you need to really work on that, because sometimes the clothes are not going to do enough. But the men will always tell on themselves when you become a more real version of yourself. And the real version, I believe this wholeheartedly, the real version of women is materialistic, because we are gatherers. You know that it feels good going out to Marshall's, to Target, to the thrift store, even wherever it is you go, and look at little knickknacks. Get yourself a little sunny angel. Get yourself a la fufu. It feels good, and you're shamed for that. We're shamed like crazy today for getting ourselves little things that make us feel better just because, it's a little materialistic thing. You're a bad person for wanting something materialistic. Let me be a bad person. I do not care if I'm a bad person. If you think I'm a bad person, let me be a bad person. Let me prove myself to be a bad person. Let me show you. And actually not even prove yourself to other people. Prove to yourself that you could actually take the step towards creating the life that you desire by being honest to yourself about the fact that you want materialistic things. There's nothing wrong with that. I know for a fact, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys on this. I believe that the most real people are the people that are not afraid to reveal things that seem fake to other people. I love bags. I love putting effort into my looks. I love spending money on my looks. I love looking like I spend money on my looks. I love doing things. I love traveling. I love materialistic things. I love things that money can buy. And I'm not afraid to admit that. And I'm going to admit that because it is safe for you to admit that. It is safe for you to admit that, but women are condemned. Women are called gold diggers for just admitting the fact that they want a little plushy toy. Women are called irresponsible. Women are called vain. We're called people that don't care because we want a little plushy toy that's hanging off our back, because we want a bag that looks cute, because we want to try doing something new with our hair, because we want to try putting makeup on that we didn't put on yesterday, because we want to wear fake lashes, because we want to maybe get a facelift at some point, because we want to get our boobs job maybe. Whatever it is you want to get done, it's valid. And it doesn't mean that you can't change your mind later and say, you know what, I'm not sure I want to get that done when you have more. When you have more money to do whatever it is you want to do, everything can change. There's nothing wrong with being a hypocritical person as a woman. That's also something that men will make us feel bad about, for changing our opinion. They'll be like, oh, you used to believe in this, or you used to do that. Now you're so different. And you know what? It's not only men that do this. It's also women, because we're all conditioned by patriarchy. Say it with me. We are all conditioned by patriarchy. We are all conditioned by patriarchy. We are all conditioned by patriarchy, whether you think you are enlightened or not. We're all conditioned by patriarchy. When we look at women, no matter how much we try to depatriarchy ourselves, we're also always going to be looking at another woman with the gaze of patriarchy in a little way. This is also why we have to be very honest with ourselves about, okay, you know what? There's nothing wrong with a woman wanting more. There's nothing wrong with a woman putting herself out there. The only way that we can decondition ourselves from patriarchy is clock the fact that we've never been without patriarchy. If you've ever read George Orwell's Animal Farm, I will, as a woman in STEM, recommend that you go read it because it's a great analogy, first and foremost, for history. Clock your history, girl. But it's also a great analogy for how we as women are conditioned to believe that we now have equality and that we now live in a society where women have the same opportunities as men. But you know what happens in Animal Farm? The animals take over the farm, they shoo the human out of the farm, and then the animals take over, but then the pigs start taking over again. And like in the beginning, they make it seem like all animals are equal. But the thing is, these animals have always been controlled. These animals have always had someone who's a master to them, who's always controlling them, who's literally putting them to work. So they do not know what freedom is. They've never actually experienced what true freedom is. So when the pigs start telling the other animals that they have it really good, while in reality they have it really bad. Like the men tell women today that we have equality, but in reality, we do not have equality. Oh, but what about equality? But what about equality? We want equality. No, you want equality? When the men tell us that, oh, but what about equality? That is literally them saying, well, we have equality, right? But we don't. We're being taught that we have equality, that we should strive for equality, but we've never known what equality is. So how are we supposed to recognize equality if we've never actually seen or experienced it? This is why I do not see anything wrong with being an quote unquote immoral woman, because you know that the women are not the ones going out and doing heinous things. You know what being a bad woman is considered to men? A woman who does a little too much about her looks, a woman who's not afraid of serving, eating and serving, a woman who's not afraid to say, I want more. That is considered immoral to men. That is considered a woman who doesn't want equality. So I do not see anything wrong. When we've grown up in a society as women where we do not know what equality is, we've never actually seen it, we've never experienced it, I do not see anything wrong with us using society to our benefit so we can get the things that we deserve, because we've never experienced a life without that watchful eye over us. We don't know what life is without that. So why not go out and say, you know what? If having a bag is having a lafufu with a flat booty is what's gonna make me happy, I'll do it. I'll do it. And what if one woman says this is immoral, if another woman says that is immoral, if some man says this is immoral, so be it. I can change. I'm not the same person I was yesterday. I'm not the same person I was last year. I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. I'm not going to tether myself to being something that is unchangeable. And that is what men want from us. They want us to be controlled so that they feel like they have the upper hand, but because they understand that femininity is uncontrollable. And they do not like the fact that femininity is a flowing thing. So they try to control, they try to commodify, and they try to make it seem like the innate qualities of femininity, like wanting stuff, wanting to be beautiful, are bad. And we're gonna end this video by me singing a little bit of a beautiful song. And I can't remember all of the lyrics, but give me a second. I feel like I also kind of promised you guys to show my bags to you. So here they are. My Juicy Couture bag, Louis Vuitton bag. If you want me to do like a more in-depth video about stuff I own, let me know. And I have this Dior saddle. And then I have my Fendi, my raggedy Fendi. And then I also have this and other stories bag. These are the bags that I'm wearing this summer. Spot them on my Instagram. Anyways, let's get to the singing part. Are we ready for the singing? And it's only gonna be like 3 lines, but they resonate heavily with me, so we're gonna sing them. Call me irresponsible, call me unreliable, throw in undependable too. That was chef's kiss. Hope you guys stay unreliable, stay materialistic, stay serving, be vain, do it for a human race, do it for the feminine.